What's up, everyone? I'm excited to give you my top stocks going into this trading week. Like always, we'll talk fundamentals and technicals for each. This week's top three stocks are Fisker, Qualcomm, and Coinbase. Also, in this video, I will cover ALYI, BFLY, Proterra, CLNE, BP, and Ethereum in that order. So if you want to skip around the video to the stocks that you own or interest you, totally feel free to do that. Okay, so first off, we'll start with Fisker. It's really an amazing time to own an EV company like Fisker, with rates sustaining low levels and the EU proposing an end to internal combustion engines by 2035. The fundamental landscape for EV companies has never been better. One big development in the past few weeks was the signing of a manufacturing agreement with Magna International, who owns actually 7% of Fisker, which certifies the framework the company's put forth in this past year. So the program runs through 2029 and lays out volumes, pricing, etc., for Fisker on its journey to become a meaningful sized EV maker. Another thing to note is shares shorted fell from 46 million to 34 million in the space of a few weeks. As a percentage of the float, it's down more than 15% to 11% today. That's a big development because it means institutional investors aren't betting against Fisker the same way they were, just a couple weeks ago. And the only reason the big fish would do that is because they think the risk of doing so is too high. That adds credibility to my bull case for Fisker. And given the stock is trading at just 2 times 2023 revenue, I think Fisker has huge potential in the foreseeable future. Within the next 6 months to a year, I think Fisker runs pretty high. And if we look at the technicals here, so we've traded down to about that first support line at about $15. I think we hold this support line and we trade up to the top line of resistance on this current trend to about $20. So that's my current day trade strategy for Fisker. Obviously, I have a long position. I have 2023 calls that I don't touch. So I'm gonna hold those, and I'm also gonna trade around this support level. I put out a buy on Friday. We swung over the weekend. It's red right now. I think we'll turn green as we move into this week. Okay, so that is Fisker. Let's move into Qualcomm. So the global chip shortage is nowhere near over, making semiconductor companies very attractive here. Qualcomm is my top pick for the sector, as they don't only benefit from the chip shortage, they also benefit greatly from the rollout of 5G. Qualcomm's Snapdragon 5G chip is the most efficient chip on the market, which should continue to be in high demand as Chinese firm Huawei, as we talked about a lot on this channel, is banned in the US and the UK, which creates market share for Qualcomm, given Huawei used to be one of the largest 5G chip manufacturers before they were banned in multiple countries. Qualcomm has traded in a clear ascending triangle pattern, which historically implies further upside about 73% of the time. So if you consider, that technical pattern, the fundamental background, I really like Qualcomm here. I think Qualcomm should be able to break out of this pattern and move higher. Trading at only 20 times forward PE and a 2% dividend, Qualcomm is trading at very fair value with great growth prospects, making it a very strong buy for me. So I own shares here. I also own those calls that we've talked about for a while. Shout out to the Discord if you're in the Discord. You know what calls I'm talking about. If you're not and you would like to join the Discord, join the link in the description. If not, no worries though. But yeah, Qualcomm, I think we hold this current channel and trade up to at least 165. I honestly think we break that before those options are up. Yep, that's way before that. Okay, so yeah, I'm very bullish Qualcomm. I think we move to 165 in the short to medium term. All right, let's look at Coinbase. So I have a 290 price target on Coinbase. I'm not recommending options here. The implied volatility is just way too high. This company just IPO'd and it's really just been a yo-yo since then. So that kind of drives up option contract prices. So I won't be recommending any options for Coinbase. But in general, I'm a huge believer in crypto long term. So naturally, I'm obviously a believer in crypto related stocks. My top crypto related stock is Coinbase because its current valuation is very cheap given the growth potential for the company. So 11% of total crypto assets are held on Coinbase for a total of 223 billion of crypto assets. So about 50%, a little over 50% of that is comes from institutional investors. About 122 billion comes from institutional investors, which is important to note. Coinbase has been in business for about a decade and has never been hacked due to their significant spending in compliance and security. Given the platform is regarded as the most secure platform to trade crypto on, Coinbase has become a favorite for institutional investors, which should provide, more capital inflow over the long term. So Coinbase has lots of potential future revenue streams that could push earnings per share even higher. Coinbase is currently rolling out a debit card or credit card that has started. That has actually started. Hasn't started yet, but it should within the next couple months. And Coinbase has also started its lending service, which allows investors to borrow up to 40% of their crypto's value at about an 8% APR. Also, Coin is set to develop a third-party app store um, and expand its wallet services, which could provide further growth opportunities for this company with that only has a PE of 28, forward-looking PE, which is crazy when you consider, the market's sitting at around 22, 23. So this is just at a slight premium to the market, which is kind of crazy given the growth potential Coinbase has and, the existing market share it has. 10% or 12% of total crypto assets are held on Coinbase as is. And I think that number gets a lot bigger as people kind of realize the security and the compliance that Coinbase offers. And that obviously brings safety, and that will bring more institutional investors to Coinbase, which should obviously help the stock. Okay, so that's my top three. Coinbase, very bullish. Let's move on to the other names we're going to cover. So let's talk ALYI, the moonshot, my top stock for 2021. This 6 mil market cap stock is set to explode to the upside once deliveries are received later this month. Alternate Systems, two Alternate Systems first customers in Kenya. This 2,000 bike order is first of many, and the order supports the planned rollout of a comprehensive EV rideshare and rental solution in Africa, beginning with electric motorcycles. ALYI has recently launched a comprehensive pilot program, bringing together a host of partners in Kenya to support a eco-friendly electric motorcycle alternative to Africa's robust motorcycle taxi market, which is currently dominated by combustion engine bikes. So just so you know, in Africa, the main mode of transportation is two-wheeled, so motorbikes. So that's why ALYI is targeting these markets, because motorbikes are already very popular. To buy a car, it's a lot more expensive than a motorbike. So emerging markets like that cost cutting, and my price target of $1 representing 2,000% upside is very much in play. I still am as bullish on ALYI as I was day one, and that's because nothing fundamentally has changed besides positive developments. And I don't jump in and out of stocks based on pure price movement, because that's just buyers and sellers. All you can really go off of is fundamental changes in the company, and all of those changes have been enormously positive. If you think about where we were, when we were trading at 20 cents, I mean, this stock was twice as speculative back then, given it didn't have, deliveries, prototype bikes. They didn't show their bike up to that point. So yeah, I really think ALYI will have an amazing end to the year, and I want to really recommend to people, this is just my opinion, obviously, but I really want to, tell people that they should consider the fundamental changes in a company over day-to-day price action. That's at least how I trade. Do your own research, all that, and you can come up with your own strategy. But that's what I'm doing. Very bullish ALY. It's my largest position. It will continue to be. Okay, so let's talk Butterfly Network. So this stock was obviously crushed this week. It was hit hard in this week's sell off, but looks attractive here as we approach crucial support level at that $10 level. So about here, you can see we're at about that IPO price, or the split price, excuse me. And I think we hold this $10 support level, and we trade up to about 12.50 in the short term within the next 2 weeks, and then over the next coming months, I think we trade up to this top line of resistance at about $20. So I'm long BFLY. For those that don't know the company, this company is a fairly valued company, 5 times PE, innovative healthcare company. Butterfly Networks is cutting the cost of ultrasounds by 90% with their handheld device. The new ultrasound platform uses a semiconductor rather than a crystal-based sound wave. They are targeting emerging markets with this amazing cost-cutting innovation. It hasn't been a better time to buy BFLY in quite some time, as BFLY is now trading on that crucial $10 support, as I said before. So I really like BFLY here. We're seeing oversold on RSI. I'm going to be a buyer of BFLY this week. I really believe in the company long term, and really nothing has changed fundamentally besides the share price. So when changes in the share price happen for no apparent reason, in my opinion, I typically buy. And I think BFLY, ALYI kind of fit that mold. And I'm about to talk ProTerra next, and I think ProTerra fits that mold as well. So Butterfly Networks, no changes here. Still a $20 price target, long-term stock. I own stocks and options. Okay, so let's move on to ProTerra. So recent commitments by China and the EU demonstrate the world's commitment and investment into EVs. With rates as low as they are, it has never been a better time to get into ProTerra as we approach a crucial support level caused by last week's sell-off. The sell-off wasn't specific to ProTerra. The selling hit most tech companies, especially small cap tech. Russell 2000 was obliterated this week. ProTerra is an EV public transport company that has buses already on the road and more orders coming in each month, just for those who don't know. So ProTerra, great stock. I like it here. We saw that Miami-Dade order a couple weeks back. I'm still very bullish on ProTerra. I think it's the top EV bus stock. And, given we have $7.5 billion being allocated to EV public transport and buses, you can expect government contracts to be running into ProTerra. And I think that will start a trend that will, cause the consumer to actually follow that EV trend. But at first, if you consider the EV rollout in general globally, it's really going to be the governments that make that initial investment, because they're obviously looking farther out. They're not, just looking for the right cost, right? Like most consumers are, right? Just put yourself in a consumer's shoes. You're obviously going to be pretty price sensitive, and that may force you to, buy a gas car. But these governments aren't really price sensitive, given they're allocating $7.5 billion, right? And it's not their own money. They're going to be, pushing money towards those sustainable EV buses, and that makes sense. Obviously, public good in it. It makes a lot of sense for them to get out ahead of climate change and all that. So that's a pretty safe bet. I like ProTerra long term. I own shares, and I own some calls going into November. November is the expiry. If you want to know exactly what calls or options I'm trading, join the Discord in the link below. We'd love to have you. It's only $25 a month and $150 a year. Okay, so this is going to be more of a trade here. CLNE is a natural gas producer, which is the lowest carbon alternative fuel. With many companies looking to cut emissions, CLNE has been able to attract lots of big influential clients such as Amazon, FedEx, Waste Management, UPS. Given we're trading right on crucial support, I believe CLNE will see a move higher on Monday. This is more of a trade, as I said. for me than a long-term hold, as I'm already really heavy in sustainable energy companies. So I like CLNE. I've done a lot of research on it. We've had some day trades on it, but I think CLNE for sure holds this support line at about 720. I think CLNE holds that, trades up to the top line of resistance on its current trading range at about 992. So reading oversold on RSI, 16 RSI, Jesus, that's oversold. And I really think we hold that level and we trade up to the top line of resistance at about $10, 990. So bullish CLNE for the short term. Don't own long-term shares on it though, just so you're aware. Okay, so this is very important to note. Oil prices have moved down significantly. They've broken trend. They've broken the beautiful ascending channel it's been in for about 4 or 5 months here. And this is really because worries of the Delta variant, which obviously caused the drop in rates too. So it's really Delta variant and OPEC. It actually hasn't been factored into the price yet, but come 5 o'clock on Sunday, I'm recording this about noon on Sunday, you could see oil prices significantly lower as OPEC has just agreed to boost output, which obviously you raise supply, demand stays the same, prices go down. So you can expect prices to drop a little on Monday for really the whole oil and gas sector, just because oil prices are about to drop at 5 tonight, unfortunately. So just so you're aware, and if you have any oil and gas positions, it's very relevant to you. And let's talk about an oil and gas position I've been on for a while now. Luckily, I was able to get in, around November and see these gains to help pay for my losses. That's been, about June to July, which has really hurt. So to talk about BP, oil is breaking out of its ascending channel that's been in for 3 months as OPEC reaches a deal to raise supply. As I said, we could head lower here as oil prices may drag down the entire sector. I honestly believe that will happen. I would love to be wrong. I would love to see BP hold this beautiful support line at 2350. I don't think it happens though, unfortunately, because the oil price is such a big factor into the share price of these oil and gas stocks. So it's really important. And if we see, a 2% drop in oil stocks on Monday, there's really no way that the oil and gas sector will be able to hold. It's just going to drop significantly with the oil and gas price. That's just it's almost like I don't want to say it's going to happen, but it's going to happen. I mean, oil and gas prices are going to drop at 5 p.m. open on Sunday, and then Monday those stocks will unfortunately feel that and most likely drop. So that's my prediction for BP. I unfortunately think we're going lower. I hate it. I wish we weren't. I hope I'm wrong. I don't think I'm going to be though, and I think you should be careful with the oil and gas sector at this point in time, given OPEC's recent decisions and given where rates are and how that affects value and all that. So if you have any questions, by the way, drop it in the comments. I'd always love to answer any questions. So let's move into our last holding, and that is Ethereum. So Ethereum, in the second financial quarter of 2021, the Ethereum network settled over 2.5 trillion in transactions. Although development and interest in the Ethereum platform have only increased in Q2, Ethereum price has not reflected that growth as we sit down over 50% from highs. There is a Ethereum upgrade slated for August 4th, which is very important to note. The proposal would dynamically burn fees, which could have an effect on Ethereum supply. This eventually should reduce issuance over time when proof of stake gets underway. So in translation, this would cut supply of Ethereum, which could have significant effects on the Ethereum price. Obviously, raise the price of Ethereum, given we'd be cutting supply. So Ethereum is one of my well, it is my favorite cryptocurrency. It's my top, cryptocurrency for the year and really for the next coming years, as I see it as the most functionally useful crypto. Given it runs the Ethereum blockchain, which is where DeFi, NFTs, they all take place. So really bullish Ethereum here. I've picked up a lot more on this recent drop, and if we want to talk technicals here, we're trading right on this 1880 level. Um, I think we hold this level. I've traded around this level. I've picked up more around here. I think we hold this level and trade up, to about 2,200 in the short term within the next 2-3 weeks. And then, as we go into the fall and the winter, I think we trade up to at least 3,000. And then in the long term, you could see Ethereum really, really run, given its functionality and its usefulness. And I just really love that Ethereum is finally getting that functional, cloud over its head that it really deserved. And a lot of these cryptocurrencies are very speculative, and to lump Ethereum in with all of them is just not really fair or logical. It just doesn't really make sense. So bullish Ethereum. It's about 35% of my portfolio. So I'm very allocated to Ethereum, and I'm a big believer in it. So with that being said, I'll stop the video there. If you haven't joined the Discord already, the links in the description. It's 25 a month or 150 a year. You get all my updates, all my portfolio updates, my entries, my exits, my options, my crypto buys, my stock buys, all of that, my penny stock, my when I'm buying ALYI, because sometimes I get in and out given on the given the technicals on any given day. So if you're interested in that, links in the description. If not, no worries. And if you're interested in a different stock that I haven't covered, leave a comment below, and I'll definitely try to get to it. If you have any thoughts that you'd like to share, please leave it below. I would love to, respond to that and maybe incorporate that into a video. That would be really cool. If not, no worries though, and wish everyone a good luck trading.